Well, two fantastic interviews there. We got the Bomb Squad from Deontay Wilder, and we got the Yes, I Will Bang from Zhilei Zhang. I'm delighted to be in the company, of course, of Moses Itauma, as he has been for the last hour or so, Mr. Andy Clark, and now the source is in the building. Mr. Lawrence Okolie, how are you?
I'm well, happy to be here. It's just a short journey from Dubai, but good to be here.
Listen, let's just go straight into that fight. Zhilei Zhang, Deontay Wilder. What did you see up there, and what do you make of that fight?
I think it's a great fight. Definitely one of those ones where you have to almost sit on the fence. I think obviously Wilder's got great one-shot knockout power, and Zhang is a more stationary target. However, I do think he can take a lot of damage and also give out a lot of damage. So it's one of those ones where, you know, I hate to say it, but whoever lands first and concussively wins the fight.
You were talking about the weights, Andy, as well. So much between them in terms of weights, but as Usyk has proved, sometimes with the big boys, it doesn't really matter so much.
No, because people talk about fighters being 15 stone, 16 stone, like that. These undersized, you know, tiny little men almost. But you can be that size and still have the explosivity, mobility, importantly, but also the durability to really scale the mountain. You have to have something special about you, let's be real, because Tyson did, Usyk did, Wilder definitely has. But it's not some kind of insurmountable obstacle. There's a lot of weight between those two. 214 pounds and 282. You know, that is a lot to give away, and that's another reason why it's so interesting.
How much appreciation, Moses, do you have as like a fellow southpaw for Big Bang Zhang?
It's going to play a lot in the fight. Obviously, we saw that Ortiz gave Wilder a hell of a lot of trouble just being the southpaw, but like I said, Wilder's just got that equalizer that tends to switch people's lights off, and like Okolie said, if whoever lands first is going out.
It's very much that, isn't it? And is it the same thing with Dubois and Hrgovic? Now, Daniel Dubois is a guy that both of you know, both of you have sparred with Dubois. This is a tough fight for him, right? But what do you think, Lawrence?
I think it's a tough fight, but at the same time, I also think it's a tough fight for Hrgovic. If Dan can get a foothold on the fight early, I think he has a very good chance of stopping Hrgovic. Hrgovic is obviously, there's a lot of talk around his name, but we're yet to kind of see it. I mean, we've seen it a little bit against Keane, but Dan has obviously been in there with the higher level opposition and for the most part held his own in all the fights. So I do think he's going to have a lot of experience, even though he's only 26. And he also punches hard. And I've seen in certain fights with Hrgovic, you know, he does go up and down sort of mentally and physically. In the parts where he's on, he's really on, and he can get some really good work off. But in the times that he's off, it might give Dan an opportunity to get him out of there.
Do you think, Moses, this is about Dan getting the initiative early and kind of, you know, getting a bit of momentum early in the fight? Is that what you're seeing?
I don't know, you know. I haven't studied a lot of Hrgovic, but I do believe it's a winnable fight for both of them. And I'm excited. I'm here to watch it as a fan. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I was kind of swayed to Hrgovic's side, but I definitely want Daniel to win.
It'll be a big win. Look, for either man, it'll be a massive win. Lawrence, since we've got Moses here as well, just tell me this sparring stuff again as well. What was 15 years old, come into the gym,
I don't want to make him blush.
Make him blush. Come on,
cool.
Do it for the cameras.
What could I say? I was preparing. I think he was 15 at the time. I was preparing for the world title fight. At this point, I'd already won the British, Commonwealth, European, and I was preparing for the world title. And I was sparring 3 guys. Sparring was going really well. And I was sparring Carroll, his brother. And I remember after one spar, they said, "Oh, I want to bring someone down, my brother. Like he's really good." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Is he southpaw?" He said, "Yeah." Then they said he's 15, and then me and my manager were like, "Leave him at home. We're not sparring on 15-year-olds in camp. We're preparing for a world title. What are you talking about?" Then went home, came back for the next spar, and then there was another guy in the gym, big guy. Wasn't really sure if he was there to spar or watch. I started sparring. And then he got in after my first few rounds, and I got a whisper. He's only 15. Go easy on him. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna have some rounds off here. Got the shock of my life. No. I said it to everyone that day, and I couldn't even hide it. Everyone was in the gym. I got the shock of my life from the first round that we sparred. I threw a jab, slip. I said, hold on. Must have been an accident. Threw another one, slipped the other direction. I said, okay, you know what? Let's turn it on. And then I never told him this, but at the end of round 1 of our spar, I was obviously I'm feeling the pace, good counter punch, good everything. He hit me in the stomach just before the end of the round. I remember I couldn't breathe. I got back to the corner and I pretended to shake everyone that was fine. I was just there. Meanwhile, I was waiting to get my breath back, got it back, and then we ended up doing like maybe 4 or so rounds, but they were the hardest. Those first 4 rounds were the hardest rounds I've ever done in the sport, to be fair. And then after that, I'll tell you one last thing. When I was preparing for the fight before, I was thinking Glowacki, maybe a bit of the sparring. After that, I went to bed. Moses, I need to get a good night's sleep. Moses is coming in tomorrow. So it really helped with the camp, and it ended up being some of my best performances because I was really fired up. So yeah, from there, obviously, I just shouted him out, and he's showing everyone exactly what he's made of.
Is he going all the way to the top?
Yeah, 100%. It's very rare that I get in there with people and I say, this person's. I've sparred all the top guys. I've become a top guy myself, and talent when you see it. So yeah, definitely.
You've done the unthinkable, by the way. You have made Moses Itauma blush. This man is
oh,
blushing. I saw you looking around. Oh God, Moses, is that sort of how you recall those times?
Yeah.
15 years old.
So
15. I still can't believe it. Sorry. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Do you know what? I was actually, I remember watching my brother go up to spar him, and this was during COVID at the time as well. So amateur boxing wasn't allowed, or amateur sparring or whatnot. So I asked if I could do a bit of sparring with Okolie, and yeah, it was just turned out to be one of the biggest blessings. I got to be part of that camp and experience what it was to be like a professional boxer for a hot minute, and I enjoyed it.
So what's going on with you then? I commentated on your fight last week. It was a really, really good win. Hostile atmosphere. You seem to love every.
Live? You watched it from.
We were back. We were back at Sky. We were back at Sky, but with the first knockdown, you could see just how quiet the whole place went, basically. Yeah. So it was a terrific performance.
Thank you.
Are you using bridgeweight literally as a bridge to get up to heavyweight? Is that the plan?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like my best performances are going to come as I put on more weight, because when I was making the 90 kilo category, I'll be looking good in the ring, in the gym, when I'm 99, 98 kilos. But then as soon as I have to get down to the 90, it just wasn't working. And I feel like there's some really good fights where a lot of these guys are getting to the tail end of their career, where we can get in there and have some good fights.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, one you mentioned, and I think people were putting the pair of you together already anyway, was Dillian Whyte. Good London fight. There's a lot going for that. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like there's not really many that I would say no to. Dylan, obviously, I don't know what his situation is, and it's funny how tables turn in that scenario. But yeah, we'll see what happens in that aspect. I've sent personal messages and whatever else, but nothing's really transpiring. But there's a whole bunch, I've been getting offers already, so I'm looking forward to it.
Lawrence, just talk to me about this concept, this 5 versus 5. There's 2 teams. Both teams have a captain. It's all quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's definitely. It reminds me of sort of like the WSB kind of setup that they had in the amateurs. I think it does bring on, although it is an individual sport and none of these guys will train with each other, you do get that sort of, you want to do it for your promoter. You're going to get the pats on the back and the next opportunity. So I think it's going to bring a lot out of not only the fighters, the show. You're going to see the promoters 100% behind it. It does create an extra layer of like enthusiasm and incentive, because you want to win anyway, but now knowing that for the team you could get an extra point or whatever. And then I heard that there's 3 million on the line for the winning team. I don't know if they're splitting that amongst they better be splitting that evenly amongst the fighters, but I think it's a great setup.
And Moses Hamza Shiraz, of course, the Queensberry captain, carries himself like a kind of model professional, much like yourself, to be honest. I think you guys are kind of the future of Queensberry, you guys, 100%. And it feels like a good captain for Frank to have picked.
No, 100%. Do you know what? If I looked at that lineup, I'll probably pick Hamza as the captain as well, if I'll be honest. Like I said earlier, I do rate him. I haven't even seen much of Admiral Williams, but I've been very impressed with what Hamza's displayed at the minute, and I just feel like blindly I'm picking him to win.
And Deontay Wilder being Eddie Hearn's captain after they've been going at each other for years, and he's kind of been Eddie's kind of been Deontay's second biggest rival, the sort of stuff. What do you make of that dynamic, Lawrence?
I think that boxing is that kind of sport where today you could be best friends, tomorrow you be worst enemies, and vice versa. So it's great to see, and it shows what some good backing can do. It can make enemies become friends.
Something that interests me actually is that you two are really comfortable around each other. At some point though,
never.
Could this happen?
Never. That's the only one that I said. I heard that, the name got mentioned. Him, too young, too fresh, too talented. No, thanks. I'll get the other ones.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Now, do you know what?
Very honest.
Lawrence has been like one of the people that's actually backed me from day one. It's probably the first professional boxer I've sparred, and he was getting ready for his world title fight. So it's a mad one to start off with. But like I said, obviously I do appreciate it with him, and then even the other boys that I've been sparring as well. Like obviously I was in camp with Tyson. He's gave me a lot of advice, and even training alongside Anthony Joshua now, he's given me a lot of advice. So I'm truly blessed and appreciative to be in the position I am, and it's only onwards and upwards.
Lawrence, let me get your 5 picks then. There's 5 fights, all these points are on the line. Let's go through them.
Okay.
Craig Richards, Willie Hutchinson.
Craig Richards, I think the experience, I've been watching a lot of Willie lately, and he does look very good, I can't lie. He's got good switch hitting, good boxing IQ, grit, and he looked thick on the stage. So I don't think it'll be an easy fight, but I just favour the experience of Craig, and also to box someone like Willie in this kind of atmosphere with his kind of energy, you have to be mentally tough, and I think Craig is. So I would edge towards Craig.
Hamza against Ammo Williams.
I think it's a good fight. I do think that Hamza's got really good attributes that are going to help him in this fight, which is range, athleticism, being able to work behind the jab and kind of diffuse Ammo. But Ammo is extremely athletic and is going to be diving in with hooks, and he'll be fit. So it's definitely not going to be a foregone conclusion. But if Hamza's made weight well, I think he has a good chance of winning that fight.
All right, for the last 3, let's get one-word answers,
Okay,
the flash
my bad.
answer. No, not your bad at all. We need a bit of time to fill, so you keep cracking on. Daniel Dubois, Philip Hrgovic.
Dan.
Okay. Do you agree with that, by the way? You two going to fall out?
No.
Here you go.
So it is. I want Dan to win,
Yeah.
and I'm going to back him. I'm going to cheer him on. But I'm just going to be honest. I think it's a winnable fight. I don't know if he will do it though. We'll see.
Ball Ford.
Say that again.
Nick Ball, Ray Ford.
I actually think Ball's going to win. As much as I liked Ford in his fight where he got the late round stoppage, I just think that Ball's kind of tenacity and the fact that he'll have super confidence from getting a razor close decision. Oh, it was a draw basically with him and Ragaz, or I can't remember the guy's name.
No, you're right.
I think it's going to give him a lot of confidence in this fight, and I do think that although Ray did win last, Ford won late on his one-word answers. Ball, sorry.
What do you reckon on that one, Moses? Ray Ford,
I
Nick
think,
Ball.
to be honest, I think Nick Ball. One-word answers.
And which promoter is going to win?
Oh, that's a good question.
I can't remember who's on. Oh wait, hold on. Who said Hamza? It seems like Warren. It seems like what is that? Hamza, Ball.
Yeah, you picked Hamza, you picked
Hamza,
Nick Ball.
Dan. So
You
that's
picked
3.
Dubois. You picked Dubois, haven't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't pick Zhang or Wilder, so Zhang or Wilder.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. Maybe my head is saying that Zhang's going to win, but my heart is saying Wilder because obviously I've watched him, knock out so many people. You just think that he should be able to get it off, but my head is saying Zhang.
What are you saying for that one, Moses?
Zhang.
Yeah, big
I think
bang.
Zhang's going to walk through him.
So your promoter winner is...
I don't know how that works out
How
points wise with the captains and whatever else.
It's Queensberry, isn't it? 'Cause he's
It'll be
picked Nick
Queensberry.
Ball, he's picked Hamza, he's picked Daniel Dubois.
So he's done it.
Yeah.
And Zhang, no?
And Zhang,
And
so...
Zhang.
And Zhang, wow, it's a
Big
landslide.
Yeah,
It's a
I think
Queensberry
so.
landslide for
I think
Okolie.
so. I think so.
And
No,
you're-
I don't. I mean, listen. There's some of them fighters where I don't mind who wins, but the ones I did say, I think that they're the ones that are going to do it.
Let me ask you this, because we got a bit of time. So it's now official. Fury Usyk, the rematch is happening. What has Tyson Fury got to do to beat Alexander Usyk in December? What do you think, Lawrence?
Maybe go through a few more trenches in sparring and not get caught with unfortunate shots. Like the one that I hurt. I think it broke his nose or whatever it was. I think that he's got enough skill and he showed it in spurts to kind of dominate the fight as long as he doesn't come unstuck. So yeah, I think just a bit more conditioning, a bit more fortune in terms of certain shots getting through or not.
Moses?
I don't think Usyk's a very good fighter, so it's not going to be like you can change one thing and all of a sudden he's going to win the fight. I think he's got to have a very good preparation, very good prep, and eliminate a lot of bad habits that he does tend to do. and I do believe he can come out victorious. Like I said, I've shared the ring with him, and he's a very, very unique fighter when he's on top form. I'm excited and fascinated to see what's going to happen in the rematch, see what his preparation is going to be like, and I do hope that he comes with the victory December.
It was fascinating because in the middle rounds in particular, it looked like Tyson was just on his way to even stopping Usyk, Andy.
It did after 6 rounds. However you scored those first 6, the one thing about that fight that everybody I've spoken to agrees on is that after 6, it did look like Fury could maybe keep turning the screw and stop him in the second half. And when he watches it back, he may not have done yet, but he will at some point. He'll probably feel like he let him off the hook. I don't feel like that gives Usyk enough credit, because if you give him a millimetre, then he will grind his way back into it. But I mean, this is a question for the pair review. Psychologically, it could go both ways, I think. You could look at it and think, I had him where I wanted him, I could do that again. Or on a bad day, you could think, I had him where I wanted him, and I still didn't win. It's just very fine margins, isn't it, at that level?
I think at that level, I think that you'd go with the, I can't remember which one you said first or second, but you definitely go with, I can do it. You're never going to look at it and say, I tried. You just say to yourself, it wasn't my day, and then you'll just push on and believe. So I do think if he watches it back and gets that same thing, he'll say, cool, let's just work with that and then go, because you have to fight the guy anyway, so you're gonna go with the fact you can win.
And Moses, let me ask you this: what about you? I was watching an interview with you and Francis earlier. I think it was on Box Nation, eyeing up some potential future foes. Okolie wasn't one of those names, as we've agreed. Never. But we was talking about just the guys like Justin Hooney, Tom Schwartz. There's a few names mentioned.
Do you know what? I'm getting to that stage of my career where it's like, with a bit more of experience, I can fight anyone. Like, it's not no name is like spectacular or nothing like that. It's just like, my downfall at the minute is I haven't had a lot of experience. A lot of my fights have been 1 or 2 round jobs. I had two fights that went the distance, but I only had 6 rounders. I need to experience 10 and 12 rounders, and then a couple of them I'll be ready for the guys that are boxing tomorrow night. And listen, it's going to be a matter of time, God's timing.
I think you'll probably have to take a bit of a leap at some point, though, because 100%. Getting people to agree to fight you's not easy. So you might have to go a bit quicker than ideally you would like. Are you ready for that?
100%. Obviously, matchmaking is not my job. Obviously, my job is just to get in the ring and fight, and I feel like I'm doing that to the best of my ability. I leave that down to my team, my manager, even my brothers. They're also heavily involved in this, and I belive that I've got a very bright future blossoming.